So let's have a look at this really interesting rec between Kristina, Kiki Grimm, and me. We were playing a 10-ball match, race to 10, and I might gonna provide the full match here as well. But first of all, we're just gonna look at this rec because it's really, really interesting. All right, pretty full square break. She made a ball on the break and has an open shot on the one ball. However, you can see it's way too difficult to make that one and to get position on a two. So she decided to just bring the one ball to the upper rail, as you can see, with a lot of blocking balls in between. This was a very, very clever shot because not only is the 2, the 10, the 4, and the 7 in between, might even the 5, but even if the cue ball leaks out, I have no clear shot on the one ball. So she forced me to just kick one rail. My goal was here, of course, I was calling the one ball because you always want to call a ball in 10 ball with the highest percentage. But obviously I had in mind to leave the 5 ball in between. And I think I barely just got there. This match has been recorded like, I don't know, about 6-7 months ago, so I can't recall every single shot, but I just remembered that this was an interesting one and I wanted to do this for quite a while now. So can she kick at it or can she just bring the one ball to the short rail again? That would be ideal. No, she had to kick at it, but this was once again a very, very clever shot because she played it with the right speed to not only perhaps bring the 5 ball in between, but also you can see the 8 ball and the 9 ball are blocking the path of the one ball. So even if I get a clear view on the one ball, I have no chance to making that. This is an interesting one. You can see I'm hitting that rail first. One ball was not frozen, just a very, very smooth speed. And I snookered her completely, I think. So this is an important shot that comes up from time to time. You definitely want to remember this one. Okay, the one rail path from the short rail is blocked by the 5 ball, which is good. And if she's gonna kick one rail to the short rail, the 8 ball is also blocking a part of the one ball. So it's gonna get difficult. And she just wants to hit it with a very, very soft speed to just basically leave the one ball where it is. And even if she doesn't make contact, you can see I can't do anything but play another safety. So by playing it that way, she definitely made sure to not sell out. Interesting shot once again. I just want to graze the one ball, leave it where it is, and on top I have a pretty strong safety if the cue ball is frozen behind the 6 ball because I'm taking a lot of options away. And if I don't get it behind the 6 ball, the 1 ball might leaking out behind the 8 ball. So this was actually a really, really good shot. Some players might try to just graze that 1 ball without the 6 ball, but it didn't make the shot any more difficult. So I tried to play an even more forceful safety shot. And this is now awfully difficult. Super, super tricky to hit. She's gonna kick probably 2 rails in between the 2 and the 10, makes a full contact with the 1 ball. That is an amazing shot, great contact, and as you can see, she didn't leave anything except from maybe a difficult cut into the side pocket. And just because of that, I'm deciding to play a safety shot again. And remember the one on the 1 ball, the very first safety shot she played? Well, I was pretty much trying to play the same shot here. Well, not 100% because I didn't put the 1 ball all the way to the rail. So if the cue ball leaks out, I would have sold out. So this was focusing 100% on cue ball safety, which is not always recommended, but I had a pretty good feeling. And I had in mind that I'm not only having the 5 ball as a blocker, but also the 4-7. Nice hit. I think she definitely called it into the side pocket. Remember, once again, you want to always call the ball into a pocket in 10 ball. Because if you make the ball accidentally and you have a few on the 2 ball, then you can continue. If she wouldn't have called it and made it and snookers me on the 2 ball like she did right now, I could have given it back anyways. But this is why it's so important. Here, once again, very similar safety shot. 1 ball to the long rail. It's not makeable except from the bank shot. I had, of course, in mind to once again bring the cue ball behind the 6 ball. Got really lucky that I didn't scratch. So, what is she doing here? I would say probably one rail to the short rail, or might even 2 rails. Just like that. You can see once again a lot of blocking balls. You have the 8 ball, you have the 10, you have the 7 and the 4 ball. So a huge zone once again, which increases your percentages. Here I'm trying to kick 2 rails from behind, hit it from behind, however, not full enough. Try to send the 1 ball towards the short rail where the 6 ball is once again, but I got away with it. So sometimes you also get lucky. Most important thing is making contact with the ball, obviously, to avoid the foul and play it with a good speed. So got away with it here. Once again, I would say, yes, just bring the 1 ball to the short rail. Cue ball goes up. Perhaps you have the 8 ball, you have the 2 ball, the 4 and the 7 once again. So really intense battle. Here, once again, I'm trying to kick 2 rails from behind, send the 1 ball up table, just like that. Of course, I was calling it into the side pocket once again, and got a really nice safety, 4, 7, 8 in between once again. So those 3 balls right now are huge blockers. Not only do you have the containing safety, where the 1 ball is not makeable, but you also have the chance to get the full hook. And of course, once again, if I would have called it into the side pocket and I make it, I can once again play a more controlled safety than before on the 2 ball. If I would not have called it into the side pocket and it drops, then of course it's Kristina's turn, which means she could give the turn back to me because I didn't call the ball and made a ball. But obviously with that clear view on the 2 ball, she would not have given it back. So I would have lost an advantage if I made the ball without having called it into the side pocket. Hey, she tried to go for the jump shot. And for the very first time, like, I don't know, this was like around 10 turns, 5 each. I have an open shot or a ball in hand on the 1 ball. So we could end it here, but I would say let's look at the rest of the rack because it's not 100% easy. The 1 ball passes the 6 ball, but how do I want to get on the 2 ball? I think because the 7 is in the way, I'm gonna go forward in between the 4 and the rail. Not ideal, but still okay. I was aiming probably for the 7 as my target. Can I go 2 rails? Yeah, just like that. That was a nice shot. Low touch of right spin. But unfortunately, I think I ended up with a bit too little angle on that 4 ball. So I pretty much have to pound the cue ball a bit that it goes into the long rail and back to the center just like that. Makes the shot just a bit more missable. And of course, it would have been nice to be a bit closer to the 5 ball now with a bit less angle where I can just draw past the 8 ball. Here I probably have to go for the center of the table. Yeah, just like that, avoid the 8 ball. Just a bit too much angle. So the big question is, do I want to play safety here or do I want to cut it in? This is now personal preference, but playing against Kristina, I know what she's capable of, and especially if you're playing against stronger players, you sometimes want to take a bit more of a risk compared to a bit lower skill level players, where the safety often gives you an advantage, but against good players, you sometimes want to take a bit more of a risk because the reward is just so high and it's not the most difficult shot in the world. Here, by the way, you see me using an interesting technique to use the rest, so I'm not using it like you probably are taught to use it, but I'm just using it as if I would play a normal shot, just using the rest as my hand, and that way you definitely increase your percentages by a whole lot if you're playing that way. And I got really lucky here. By the way, if you want to learn how to use the rest, I made a video about that like 5-6 years ago. I will put the link to that in the video description as well. Okay, that looks nice. Just gonna follow into the rail, had the perfect angle on the 7 ball to come nicely towards the 8. Now, very important, I don't want to bring the cue ball in a position where I perhaps end up straight on a 9 ball, because you don't want to end up straight. This is perfect for a left-handed player. I could play that one low left, but I'm gonna play it with just right spin. That way I'm avoiding the side pocket completely. I can't add so much right spin that the cue ball comes anywhere near the side pocket. And I won this reg. Really, really interesting one. And as I mentioned, if you want to watch the full match, let me know in the comments, then I might gonna upload it as well.